What should I do if my marriage goes bad while my I-130 case is pending? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States at our office here in St. Louis, Missouri. I've had a few consults lately and seen some strange things, so I thought I'd shoot this video to explain to you what's been going on. We've had 2 consults in the last couple weeks where people were in marriages that went completely badly. They were not living together, they had very little evidence together, they had not much of a shared life together, they didn't commingle their assets, they didn't live together, and there are all kinds of signs that this marriage just wasn't going to ever be approved. Now, the most surprising thing of all is that in both of these cases, the couples are represented by attorneys, and in both cases the attorneys kept saying to push these cases. And I looked at the paperwork and I looked at what had been filed, and I said, if you'd ever come to me and brought me this, I never would have filed this case. One of them, I think, did file without an attorney and then got one later. The other one, some attorney told them to keep going. And this was a case that had been delayed, that the immigration fraud unit had come out to investigate. This was a case that was never going to be approved. And ultimately, it did get denied. And the crazy thing is that in this particular case, the couple, like I said, had never lived together. Their marriage had been, quote unquote, pending for 4 or 5 years. They did have a kid together before they got married. And the strangest thing of all was that even though no one had filed for divorce, both people had moved on. And so the non-citizen had actually fallen in love with a U.S. citizen. And the attorney, though, kept pushing the old marriage instead of going back, dismissing that case, getting divorced, and starting over. So you always have to ask yourself, am I going to be able to prove this marriage? Am I going to be able to demonstrate that this is a real marriage? And if you don't have any documentation, you're going to get really close to getting hit with a fraud allegation. And you never want to get hit with a fraud allegation, because if you do, you might not ever get any immigration benefit for the rest of your life. And so you really need to think through, if you're in a marriage and you have an I-130 that's pending and you get scheduled for an interview, the last thing you want to do is go there and lie or act like the marriage is okay. You need to be completely honest with them. And if that means dismissing your case and going home, then that's what you need to do. You don't want to get in a situation where you're trying to defend or prove a marriage that is fundamentally flawed, that's never going to get approved, that is for all intents and purposes not real or provable. And so we don't spend a lot of time here at the office talking about fraud. And obviously we only submit cases that are valid, and we don't ever submit cases that we think are fake. If we come across someone that we think is engaged in a fake marriage, we send them packing. We don't want anything to do with them. We only want to bring USCIS cases that are real, and we don't have much time for lawyers or other people who push cases that have no merit. So ask yourself, is this real? Is this something that I can prove? Is this something that an immigration officer is going to believe? Is this something that I have documentation of? And if you don't, just freaking stop. Don't keep going. Don't keep pushing. Don't just say, oh, I'll just wait and see what happens. Now listen, we're all about tough cases. We're all about pushing and taking our shot. But there's a thin line between being clever and being stupid. That's an old line from Spinal Tap that I always loved. And it rings true in immigration. You don't want to be too clever. You don't want to be too cute. You only want to submit evidence in cases that are real and cases that you can win. If you have questions or need an assessment of your case, or if you have issues related to an I-130 that you filed and now the marriage has gone off the rails, give us a call at 314-961-8200. You can email us at info@hackinglawpractice.com. If you like this video, we hope you did. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Join us in our Facebook group, which is called Immigrant Home, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.